Hello, everybody, again, and welcome to another episode of Stock Talk. I am your host, Mike, and with me is the ninja Kage.
Hi there.
What's going on, man?
Just looking for a good opportunity.
I heard you were shining your skis today.
Hmm. Well, I will say that I was thinking about skiing, and the snows are coming down, so it
Yeah,
might be a good idea to get them waxed and get them ready.
yeah, I was getting the sled ready to go out sledding today. No, I just kidding. I wasn't sledding at all, but we have a good show planned for you today. We're going to first talk about the comments from our listeners that left. We got to give a shout out to the listeners. You guys are what keep us around here. Delicious Kitchen says thanks always for keeping us updated. The humble Megan says she wants us to do some analysis on AQST. Well, guess what? Megan, we're going to go do that analysis tonight just for you. And then Aloco says, today I just bought AURI 005, 5 million shares, very cheap. And then John Petrie, he also gave us a shout out today about Ari with that crypto stock I covered last night. That one looks like a decent play to take a look at and find your buy point on that one. So going in today, as far as before we get started on our first stock here, Kage, he's our favorite punching bag on the show. It's Kramer. He was up to his same stuff again, so he's living rent free in our head. Just he supplies all the best comments for us. Do you want me to cover this here real quick?
Sure.
Okay, so guys,
Yes.
this page shill thinks we're this is courtesy of this report is from the Gateway Pundit. Jim Cramer thinks it's the 1920s, the Roaring Twenties. He says this is the strongest economy we've ever seen, but weekly jobless claims told 184,000 this week. It's the lowest going back to September 6, 1969. Today he says we have the strongest, perhaps, economy that I've ever seen. Just a few days after Biden had him in there begging for favorable news coverage, he goes out with the shill coverage. So just like the nickel discount on gas, if you want to call it that. But we love to talk. The guy's just hilarious, Kramer there. So there's your Kramer there because that'll go for the apes because the apes like Kramer. They really don't, but that's just it is what it is on that. You got anything to add on Kramer there?
I can't believe this guy is lying so bad it's dripping out of his rabbit mouth.
No, he's a paid shill just like the rest of them. They get the cheap stuff. They go in, they sell, they go and tell their buddies to pump up the jam, and then they go the sell off, and then everybody loses in the sell off, and then they go and grab the cheap stuff. That's what they do. He's a paid shill just like the rest of them. So that's what you get for listening to Alphabet News. But we have to cover it because you got to see what direction the Alphabet News is taking you. So going into the first stock we're going to talk about here is AQST. AQST, courtesy of Megan. Last tick was $5.19. Looking at this stock, Kage, if you go to the chart, I'll put the listeners up the chart there. This chart's pretty healthy, and definitely you could swing it by the momentums that it's going to have. Now, I've checked out several things in this stock, and the pipeline for this is actually pretty interesting, Kage, before we go into what would you say they do here. With this stock, they engage in identifying, developing, commercialization, differentiated products to address medical needs and to solve patients' therapeutic problems. Its pipeline includes Liberant, Subsicone, and Zupolens. The company was founded in January and is headquartered in Warren, New Jersey. Now, one of my takes on these stocks is these are some of the safest plays. You just have to watch the financial and where the dinero is going as far as with some of what is it, the Washington elites there and your big dogs. What do you got to say, Kage, as far as money trails and things like that with big pharma and things?
Big pharma it's stable, but I don't like the way they just take their profits and just not
Yeah.
necessarily put it back into the economy for other things that are more long term.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's I think that's a decent take. The other thing is that they're funding. They're getting most of this stuff from China, so that's how you're getting your cheap seats right there. But going forward, covering with this stock, we're going to go into the pipeline. We're going to go through several things, and then we're going to go through the Alphabet news and find out any information. And then we'll go to Stockwitz because that's where the real traders are at, and check out everything there. So let's go on to the website and kind of check out the pipeline, and then we'll go to the Alphabet news. Okay, so your next study there is Breakthrough Seizures, Phase 2 to assess the pharmaceuticals and safety of pharmafilm based on formulation of diazepam for pediatric patients. You can learn about the clinical case studies. They are on there. They also have their medicines. Let's go to the medicines there. Now, interesting to note about stocks like these for therapeutics. When you have therapeutic stocks, as they hit their phases, the chart obviously goes up with the news of the day. So you could the best part is if this thing is trending, obviously you're not going to want if it's one of the hot. If you see all these news articles that come to you and they're popping everywhere, that's not the time to get in. Your time to get in is on the dip. A lot of the subs, when they're posting stuff that's happened to them and things trades they've done, they're starting to get things on the dip, Kage. What do you got as far as on Stockwitz, where the real traders are at? What's the sentiment there on this stock?
I haven't seen many bears. I have seen a couple of bulls, but there's not really a lot of traction for this one. Like this one. Solnor says AQST, speculation time because why not? I'm thinking AQST might pull a volatile move to the upside based on positive approval news and not on anticipatory run, even though it has run by more than 50% in the past 3 months, which is modest.
And
that might be good since it will not be dumped with positive news. Speculation.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, is signal, not noise. And there's always a lot of noise out there. And people, like, if you're going on to Alphabet News, they're just going to pump whatever they can because they want to hook their friends up into the cheap seats and scare you. That's what they do all the time. So going into this, another deal we're going to talk about as far as with these stocks is that when they hit their next phase in the trial, that's when these things pop. So if you can get on the dip, jump in on the cheap seats, you're going to be successful at these. Their medicines, they said they're committed to patients in the heart of every observance we make. Many patients don't experience the full benefits of treatment because difficulty with the side effects and the prescribed regimens and things like that. These therapeutic problems are leveraging of pharmafilm technology, and it's a premier development platform for high-performance drug delivery. So with this, one of the drugs, Sympazum, hopefully I covered that there well, they have, and the Subsafilm, those two are the medicines that they have there. Okay, so going on to NASDAQ.com, looks like from Simply Wall Street, we have a plug here. It says that we see that AQST Therapeutics does have institutional investors. They hold a good portion of the company's stock. This suggests some credibility amongst professional investors, but they can't rely on some alone fact that institutions make bad investments sometimes. Just like everyone does, when the multiple institutions own a stock, they're not always at a risk when they're a crowded trade. So when the trade goes wrong, multiple parties may complete to sell the stock fast. The risk is higher in a company without history of growth. When we see AQST Therapeutics historic earnings and revenue below, but keep in mind there's always more to the story. Isn't that true? Going on to Stockwitz, I'm going to go on as well, Kage, because I want to just check a couple things here out as far as what some of the people there were saying. Did you cover NOAMN at all? This one just posted there.
No, I did not.
Okay, this was actually important here. This one says, even if we don't get run-ups to pre-announcement, I'm thinking we could still get $8 or $9 for FDA approval. So he's speculating on $8 or $9 approval. Anything is possible as far as with with the breakthroughs in the Alphabet news and with the clinical trials. That is all based on clinical trials. When that pops, you've seen some of these where they've spiked, they drop below and they go down. Say, let's see, remember I always tell you guys about Noravax all the time? Noravax was down in like 2019-ish. I believe it, 2018, 2019-ish, forgive me. I talk about this on the show, but you were looking at about 5 and change around there. And obviously the pandemic evolved and everything else like that. And then here we are, you're sitting pretty if you held that stock and you got it that cheap. So that's the kind of thing we're talking about. With these stocks right here, they're risky, but they're not as risky as, say, your subs. Your subs, you better be planning on tossing the money into the trash, basically, because they're a lottery ticket, okay? Whereas these, you want to get on cheap and you just put them in your piggy bank, and then you watch them, and however you trade, if you're a swing trader or if you're a day trader, things like that, or if you're a long holder, then it is what it is. It looks like Sean45 said there'll be an excellent investment for long term for sure. Investors should check CYDY on the upcoming multiple catalysts on the cancer, HIV, and COVID. So you had that tip from him as well there. Let's see what else we have. That's pretty much it, what I got. There's no new news on this one. I would say any of your therapeutics guys, as long as the financials are good, dive into the financials. They're going to be your safer plays going forward, especially when the market correction happens, which it's going to, because everything is overinflated and we're printing out the money machine. You know what I'm saying there, Kage?
Yeah, it can't last.
No.
It can't last.
No, you probably will see in your lifetime again, possibly like 1929, where people are jumping out of buildings again. Hopefully it doesn't come to that. I hope I'm wrong. I pray I'm wrong, but I wouldn't be surprised. So nobody is prepared for some of the stuff that is going to hit. Don't want to be we're not doomsday people here. We're just looking at the tea leaves and the chips out on the table. So that's the end of that one. We're going to move on to the next. Okay, guys, the next stock we have is JAMN. JAMN. Last tick was 0.006. Now, going into this one, Kage, obviously know this is risque. Like all stocks are risque. This one, if you are new to trading, probably try to paper trade or do whatever don't just throw all your marbles at this or anything. It has the beginning of the chart. Obviously, you could see it's all over the place. One thing I will point out on it is that it's a little more consistent on its, before you have obviously the big jumps on some of the news on it. It stays almost consistent and you don't have a drastic dive and dump. So the chart seems to me a little healthy there. Going into what would you say they do here? JAMN Java Corporations operates a coffee roaster, marketed and distributed company. It provides premium roasted coffee and teas to grocery, retail, online service, hospitalities, offices, and big box store industries. The company develops its coffee lines under the Marley brand. JAMN was founded by Rohan Marley and Sean Whittle on September 27, 2004, and is headquartered in Denver, Colorado. Now, one of the things I'm going to tell you, Kage, on this is that watching the video that JAMN Java put out, their workers and them, and the company itself, not them, but the company itself, they love to say that they're organic because they are organic. That's one of their biggest things that they tell everybody is no chemicals and things like that. So going into the website, JAMN Java is a United States-based company that provides sustained growth of ethical farmed and artisan premium roasted coffee. Through multiple United States industrial channels, the U.S. and grocery retail channels have become the company's largest revenue channels, followed by online retail, office coffee services, referred to herein as OCS, food service outlets, and licensing. Their fair trade premium, super premium specialty, Arabic coffees from certified the Jamaica Blue Mountains. Now, if you want to see the beautiful Jamaica Blue Mountains, you could go onto the YouTube channel of this and you can watch how they make it. They have the workers there showing them sorting the beans and everything like that. It's actually, it looks like a decent facility as far as them with the production and everything like that. JAMN Java strives to support communities and the environment. JAMN Java global source beans are a small batch of roasted to ensure almost the quality of freshness. So you can go into now the website. They're starting out and they're new, so it's a little bit. It's probably going to go through some updates and things like that. But like I said before, you have to watch what your buy point is and things like that. And like I said, this is another one that's probably a lottery ticket for some people. So you have to take as at your own risk as far as when you're doing these types of things. So like I said, if you're new, watch out. What do you got, Kage, on your end as far as from some of the real traders on Stocklets?
JAMN says has solid coffee. I bought 5 to 6 different kinds, and as far as trading goes, let's see. You guys taking over for the Orange Ball? Is he on vacation? This Anthony S says bullish.
What's he mean by that?
I guess he means the Orange Man bad or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. What's another one?
Let's see. Massive buys coming in. JAMN bullish.
So they're predicting that there's going to be some massive share buys. I guess as more people find out about it, you're going to see some buys here. You also have there's a plug on this was today, mymctoday.com. They have, by providing insights to the market maker, different customer segments, companies can tailor their business and strategies for maximum success. Some of the major emerging players for the study on Blue Bottle, Caribou Coffee, Keurig, and JAMN Java is in with these guys. So this is for, there's a research study provide consumer goods and retail companies with the local insights about specific behaviors, preference, target audience. So they're in that study. The depth of the study is collected for specialty coffee market study to make it possible for companies to analyze and forecast behaviors for preferences of the customers by geography, generation, millennials, Generation X, or baby boomers. So they're in that study, and it's also saying that how specialty coffee market report would be beneficial. So with the report, when they come out and they're going to, if a lot of the samplers are basically saying, hey, this stuff's freaking jamming rocks, and we like it that that's going to be one of the things for a lot of people is how do they grow the coffee and things like that. And JAMN Java is obviously doing the best they can with organic, and that's been their thing since the founding, since 2004. That's what Marley has stated on his videos, and that's one of the pride things he does. He takes pride in his work. In the work for making his customers happy with organic based coffee there. What else do you got there, Kage?
Best to be in before it hits the big boards. It's got happy face. And there's another one that says sevens and dubs starting to appear now in L2. Looky eyes.
Here's an interesting one just for kicks and giggles, because we're getting a lot of people here that are they're all excited, and it's good. It's good to think about, hey, this could take off, but like I said, that you just gotta, if you're getting in on this thing, you just gotta realize that it could be some time, and I wouldn't get in when the news is popping today about the study that they're in. So this guy writes, I have an extra $700 in my account, so I'm just for north of 1.5 million. JAMN no longer sells coffee. They are charging the business model to a real estate holding and development company. They're changing their model. Sorry, it's been a long night there. So this guy says that they're changing their model, that they don't make coffee anymore. So I don't know if that was a hot take or not. I didn't see any news on that or anything. Did you?
I didn't think I saw anything like that. This sounds to me like he's trying to get people to sell so that he can buy up all the cheap stuff.
It's possible that, unless I haven't seen anybody on here as far as saying they're doing anything else. It's possible that they are, but I don't see. I see a bunch of bullish, but I don't see any more. He didn't even put bears or anything, so it could just be a hot take. I don't know. If anybody has any information on JAMN, if they're doing what he said they're doing, then let us know in the comment section. But I'm pretty much out. What about you?
Yeah, I'm out on this one.
Okay. Yeah, so just find your buy point. If you're going to buy, it's a stay away for you, it's a stay away, but don't jump into something as far as if you are new to this and you don't know. You need to go to some of the basics and things like that. So just do your research and just don't jump into anything before, because especially when it's before Friday or when it's being taught, when things are being propped up and talked about, or you saw it on a list. Don't jump into things like that. So I'm out on this one. I'm out on the show. What else you got to add there, Kage?
Nothing. I'll just bid everyone good night and hi-ya!
Don't make it a dog show. And good night now!